Hey, Poker Savvy. This is Andrew Brokos here, playing two tournaments, both getting into the late stages of the tournament. You can see this one here is a $1,000 WCOOP second chance tournament. There was a 10K earlier in the day, which I did not play. Had just over 1,000 runners. We're down to 70 some, so we're in the money now. And then this is also a $500 WCOOP event on Sunday. Had about 8,200 runners, and I think we're down around 1,000 in that now, so we're not quite in the money, but we're getting very close to it. This is kind of around the bubble over here on the right in the $500 tournament, and over here on the left, we are in the money, although just barely in the money in the $1,000 tournament. The um, the structure is considerably better on the $500, so even though the tournaments are actually at kind of a similar stage right now in terms of this one being right before the bubble, this one being right after the bubble, it's actually going to move much more quickly over here on the left. We'll be getting down, approaching the final table much more quickly, whereas this one, it's going to be a while before we even get to the bubble itself. Um, this is going to look kind of non-standard for me to open raise this. An important part of it is that this guy Lone Hicks is probably the best player at the table, with the possible exception of myself. Although I'm sure he at least plays a lot more tournaments than I do, and so may well be the better uh, tournament player anyway. I think given his stack size, it's going to be difficult for him to deal with a raise, especially a raise coming from this position. He's not going to be able to jam over it, just given the size of his stack. And I think he's probably not going to try to three bet me light. So the worst case scenario is that he calls kind of light out of his big blind. If he thinks I'm full of it and tries to make it a play at me post flop, I think I'm probably, with having possession in this particular hand is a hand that's going to play well post flop. I'm fairly confident in my ability to outmaneuver him. On this particular flop, I'm trying to pick a bet size that'll enable me, the best situation there where I've got a huge draw, but I've got, no showdown value per se. At least if I get any action with my hand, I can't expect it to be best, unimproved. So what I need to do, the ideal situation is for me to get in the last bet with a hand like that. The stacks, I think, are too deep for me to just open shove there. Although it wouldn't be the worst play in the world. I mean, he's probably going to call with any ace and fold anything less than an ace. So I don't think open shoving would be terrible. But what I'd really like to do is make a small bet there, like I did. See if I can induce him to check raise less than all in, either as a bluff or possibly with a medium strength hand that doesn't call a shove, although that's probably less likely. What I'd really like to do is make a small bet, induce a check raise from him, and then shove over the top of it. And that way, I kind of maximize the amount of money that he puts into the pot while still giving him a chance to fold. That's kind of what I was going for there with that raise. Once again, I'm going to raise it up from fairly early position. I'm not too concerned about any of these guys behind me because this is like a huge 8,000 person field WCOOP event. Most of these guys are this guy here is a decent tournament player as well. But a lot of these guys are, at least as far as I'm concerned, kind of randoms and not necessarily tournament regulars or people who are great at tournament poker.